Hey there, everybody in YouTube land. It's the Dude RC. Sorry, it's been a little bit since I've made a video. It's just sometimes life gets in the way. But I've got some time off on this 4th of July, so I figured it was time to get the Rlaarlo fixed. Or, well, hopefully I'll get it fixed. So this is the Rlaarlo MK07. And if you guys saw my first video, I was very excited to get this rig in. I still very much enjoy looking at it. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to enjoy driving it. It got through almost one full battery pack before the rear end blew up on it. And blow up's a little bit excessive. It broke a couple gears inside there. Now, my rig it was noticeable right when I pulled it out of the box, and I had it sitting right here on this table, jacked up in the air, and just kind of going through everything to see how everything worked. I noticed right away that the rig was really loud, had a lot of rust on some screws. Then we had some actuation problems, but like for instance, here's a big problem right here. It doesn't roll. See? It didn't roll right out of the box. I wasn't sure why, because this doesn't really have any worm drive gears in it that I know of anyway. But the system was really loud. The four-wheel drive, the two-wheel drive, the front-wheel drive system didn't switch very well. The front locker didn't always engage or disengage. The two-speed transfer case, sorry, this thing's really big. The two-speed transfer case didn't always work right. This servo here would bind up. Had some rust on the motor's ends and on the screws. Had some rust down there. So I went to go drive it, and going over a rock, this rear axle bound up. It didn't really fully bind, but I mean it bound up enough to where it popped the gear. So I sent an email to Rlaarlo. Sent a lot of emails to Rlaarlo, and their response was, well, if it gets stuck on a rock, go pick it up and move it. It's a rock crawler, guys. You say it can tow a car, but it can't make it over a rock? I didn't like that answer. I told him I didn't like that answer. It took probably 2 weeks and maybe 12 to 14 emails going back and forth with them, and it really didn't seem like they were going to do anything about it. They just, basically told me, too bad, so sad. But to their credit, after a couple weeks, they did finally get back with me, and really, what I wanted to do is, because this vehicle had so many problems with the servos and it was slow. It was very slow. It was much slower than everybody else's. A lot of noise coming from the transmission and transfer case setup. And with all the rust and this axle shaft was bent right out of the box. I thought it was just the wheel might have had a flat spot on it or something, but no, this axle was bent right out of the box. I thought the best thing to do would be to send this whole truck back to them and let them go over it, see what the problems were. Because I had watched so many videos on this thing before I bought it, and it looked awesome. Everybody's truck that performed great. They were nice and quiet. They did what they were supposed to do, so I just had to have this rig. So I spent my $500 on it, and I even paid the $100 for the fast shipping. Granted, it still took 2 weeks to get it. But anyway, so Rlaarlo did get back to me, and while they didn't want to replace the entire rig, they did say that they would send me some parts. So they were supposed to send me a complete rear end and some screws and a motor, maybe a new transmission. So let's see exactly what they got for me, because I'm really kind of sick of looking at this $600 paperweight. So they did send me a complete motor and transmission and transfer case. which I thought was very cool. I am going to open this up and grease it all. I'm going to grease the pinion and spur. I'm going to grease inside of the transmission. I'm going to grease the transfer case. Because I did notice on all the other channels, the guys that got their pre-delivery ones, theirs were all greased inside, and theirs were significantly quieter than mine. You know, I didn't even grease inside of the portal, so I'm going to go ahead and grease everything. The front and rear diffs, I'm going to grease the portals, grease all in there. I'm just going to grease it the heck up. The other thing that they sent me was a whole bunch of screws, which was nice of them. I told them they didn't have to send me all the screws, because they asked me which ones are rusted out, and I pointed them out, and they wanted me to measure them. It's like, hey guys, just don't worry about the screws. I've got a ton of screws up there. So they did end up sending me the entire package. Very cool. I'm happy with that. And then where things start to go downhill is, instead of sending me an entire rear end, since this one did have the bent axle and was eating up gears, they just sent me 2 diffs. And the problem with that is they didn't send me the pinion gears or the axle shafts. So I know that the rear diff has got a couple broken teeth on it. I'm going to hope that the pinion is okay, because I did message them back again and say, hey guys, you forgot to send the rear axle. And, well, they weren't very receptive to that, but they did end up sending me out the pinion gear and some axle shafts, but they're not here yet. And being that I've waited, this thing has been broken for an entire month, over a month now. I'm sick of waiting for that pinion gear. It's probably still a couple weeks out. I'm going to pull it apart, and hopefully that pinion gear isn't chewed up, and then I'll be able to get away with just putting these in there. They also gave me this. I don't know what this is. I have no clue. I've looked inside of the truck, and you know, it's not that board there. It's not that board there. I honestly have no clue why they sent me this board, but I have one, so yay. Another thing that they did, which I thought was pretty cool, is they sent me some rear brass portal covers and the front brass steering knuckles. This wasn't available on their initial release on it. They added it later. So I thought that was cool that they sent those to me. They knew that I already had the brass weights in there, and I already ordered the skid plate kit. So at least they gave me enough stuff to really brass it all the way up. So I guess there's really nothing left to do here, except for let me get this camera set up in a better position. And I'm going to start off by tearing into the rear axle, and hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully that pinion is okay on the back, and I can get away with just replacing the differential and ring gear. And then, like I said, we're going to lube the heck out of everything and just jam it in there. Hopefully with lube, and hopefully this one is set up right to where this actuates properly, and also to where this one actuates properly. And we're just going to take it from there. I really hope this works, because I love the way this rig looks. I think it looks absolutely just sweet. And it looks really nice when it's on the trail. And the suspension works nice. I know some guys think it's too soft, but I like it. I like the scale look of it. So hopefully all this shuts it up, makes it nice and quiet, nice and smooth. And then we're going to go find some rocks. Go find some off-roading places to take it and see how it does. And then that way, can enjoy the fireworks displays tonight. All right, y'all. Let me set this camera up and we'll get right to it. All right, so we are off to a promising start. I do not see any teeth eaten up on that pinion gear, but as you can see, the ring gear is eaten up, and it does have a little bit of grease on it, but I'm gonna put a lot more. So I'll go ahead and slap in that new guy. And in anticipation of being able to run it, I do have my little 3S's on the Traxxas charger. They are chugging right away, and looks like they'll be done long before I'm done with the rest of this rig. So I'm just gonna keep on at it, and when I get to something unusual or interesting that's got to be pulled apart, I'll make sure to let you all know. Still, the one that really gets me though is these dang square pegs going into the round holes. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know. I guess it works. Well, mine doesn't work, but hopefully it'll work. So let's get back at it here. All right, so chugging right along here. I've put some Traxxas axle, marine grease, Traxxas marine grease. Smeared up the rear gear, smeared up the front or the portal gears. Got some loaded in there. I'm not going overboard on it, just enough to kind of lube it all up a bit, and hopefully that will shut it up and make it work a little bit better. That's a pretty nice little brass piece there, so I have hopes that everything is going to work better. So I'm just going to keep on turning screws until I don't have any more screws to turn. And just chooching right along here, I've completely pulled apart this gearbox and lubricated everything inside with the Traxxas marine grease. Got the lash set up properly, about to put the inspection cover back on. And got the old one out, old motor out. The motor actually doesn't seem bad. He's got some rust on it, and this new motor definitely spins easier than this old one. This one it's really hard to turn, and this new one, it spins way nicer. So I'm hoping that'll cure the speed issue and the binding issue. So I'm just gonna keep on at it and get it all back in. Wish me luck. So moving right along here, I've got the transmission installed, all lubed up. The transfer case is lubed, transmission's lubed, ring and pinion is lubed. I'll make sure to put some lube in here. So this is the plastic one. You got to remember to pull out those bushings right there, top and bottom, before you put it back on. And also another little thing of note here is you do have a Jesus clip that holds on your portal gear onto that shaft right there. So you just got to pop off that Jesus clip, and then you can slide that gear right off. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish bolting this up, and I'm going to pack it up with some grease, and then we'll get the axle shaft stab back in, and I think we'll be ready to give her a try. I'm really hoping that this takes care of it, because I'm itching to play with this rig again. I do love the way it looks. I hope it performs as good as it looks now after I'm done. So heading right back at it. And continuing on, we've got everything all nice and lubed. And let's see, hopefully it should, that fits together pretty nice. I left that disconnected just so I can spin it to make sure everything's nice and free. Now, one thing that I did have to note is doing the rear, those inner covers or inner weights. One of them, the bearings slipped on nice and smooth. The other side, they did not machine it out all the way, so I had to use a little burr bit and kind of sand off some material on the inside just to make sure those bearings sat in there properly. So it's something to check out. It's only happened on one out of the 3 that I put in. I still do have to put on this one, but hopefully I don't have to burr out another one of these to make the bearings fit. But altogether, it's going together pretty well, I think. And I'm just going to keep going back at it. Also, now since these screws are going into a metal bit, you want to make sure that you put a little bit of Loctite on the end of it, because we all know how the metal on metal stuff goes. You get enough vibrations. Not that this thing is fast enough to really cause those kind of vibrations, but definitely want to put Loctite on all those. So just a little quick tip there, guys. All right, on the home stretch now. Last thing I got to do is put some grease in that front end. As you can see, they smear a little bit on there, but there is nothing on the teeth. So that's just been dry on dry. So I'm going to grease that up, put it together, and I guess while I got everything apart, I'll go ahead and put those on as well. I initially wasn't going to use them, but they're here, so may as well. So let me grease that up, then we'll slap a battery in and hope she works properly now. All right, so this thing is fully back together now, and I'm just gonna let you guys watch it in real time with me so we could see if that 3.5 hours worth of repairs and actually fixed it, or at least made it a little bit better. So let's get that plugged in, and oh, help if I grab the remote. Alright, so let's see, there's the remote, and it's been so long since I used it, I forgot how to turn it on. Jazzy. Alright. Steering still works. Well, it's a bit quieter, and let's see if I can remember what buttons do what. Okay, so that's front locker. Okay, lock just fine. Unlock just fine. Lock just fine again. Alright, so that's a good plus there. And let's see, that should be okay, that's the let's see, it's front wheel works. All wheel. Rear wheel. All right, I'm glad to see that. Okay, that is all working a whole lot better. And then let's see, I think it's C is for rear locker. Oh, it's lights. Oh, this is the button for all right. It's high speed, low speed. That's all definitely. Yes, that is all working much better. Much, much better. So, yeah, I am happy with that. Everything seems to be doing what it should be doing. We are fully locked. Unlocked. Fully locked in the front. Unlocked. Alright, that is definitely all working much better. And it does seem to be a little bit quieter. So I'm going to call that a win for now. I'm going to call that an end to this video here, because this video's already gotten pretty dang long. So I'm going to put this video out there, and then I'm going to go take this thing off-roading, and well, hopefully it performs better now. The one thing that I do find weird is I still can't hand roll it. If I remove the motor, it'll roll. So I guess it's just maybe this motor's got so much torque or so much resistance that it just won't let you do it. I don't know. It's the first RC rig I've had like that, other than the little SCX24 with the worm drive. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but everything else seems to be working so much better. It's still pretty loud, but not as loud as it was. All right, gentlemen and ladies and everybody else, I hope you all are having a wonderful 4th of July. I hope everybody comes back with all 10 digits this weekend. And I will catch you all in the next video, which I'm not sure if I'm going to go shoot it today or shoot it tomorrow, because it's already after 3 o'clock, and this is the hottest part of the day in Texas. So I might just go take it out first thing tomorrow morning when it's nice and cool. But thank you, Rlaarlo, for stepping up and sending me all the components to make this thing work properly. And hopefully we'll get a good redemption video here. This is Dude RC. Catch you all in the next one.